A.W.S. Jones, Hammond. I had the pleasure of and I had the pleasure of speaking about my friend and co-parent, Susan Silver. And I just want to say that when I first came to DC and we talked about attorneys, didn't really think about attorneys in the way that Susan was practicing. Usually it was because my friends, some of my friends, certainly not me, got caught in places having a wonderful time in places that we probably shouldn't be. So we only called upon attorneys when we were in trouble. And I can't remember exactly when I met Susan, but I wasn't in trouble. Somehow our paths continued to cross. And I think at the time Susan was teaching at Antioch, and somehow we continued to show up at the same conferences, and Susan started introducing me to other attorneys, asking me to do a workshop, and during that time, I'm not going to talk about what's in the program book, because all of you can read, right? Anyone here? If you can't read, ask someone next to you to read it to you. But I'm going to share a story. My partner at the time was talking about the possible, that he would really like to have kids. And as fate would have it, and I think a good fate, my friend Susan was talking about that she would really like to find, a nice gay man and have kids. And I said, ooh, I've got someone for you. And it was through this union of bringing those two together that ended up with, who knew we would end up as an incredible blended, extended family with lots and lots of diversity that when I introduced Danielle, stand up, let me see. And so that they could see how much you look like me. And then there's Avi. And there are three others that are not here that probably look like my partner. No. But then the family continued to extend, so we have Art, who's one of the co-parents, and actually there are 6 of us that are co-parents, and don't ask and don't tell, we won't explain that. But the point being, when I talked to my partner today, and I said, what would you suggest that I say about Susan? And he said, you got to say groundbreaking, because Susan was ahead of the curve. When LGBTQ people talked about parenting and having children, even within the LGBTQ community, people would look at us and say, why would you want to do that? And many of them thought that we should not have children, and that it was not appropriate. And I can tell you, that there were many very quietly figuring out ways to have children through adoption, through foster parenting, but also through surrogacy and alternative fertilization. I don't like the word artificial insemination, so alternative fertilization, and just really being very creative about it. And it's groundbreaking because it was parents like Susan who were at the forefront, and those that are coming ahead now, that we see so many LGBTQ folks walking around with little babies and little toddlers and teenagers, and people are not batting an eye, at least not in DC. And so it is with great pleasure. I must say this, Susan, I beg to speak on your behalf. I said, oh no, I have somebody introducing her. They don't know her like I do, so it is with great pleasure that we bestow this